Today's a really important day for the vlog. We have OTS Championships this weekend. I happen to have 2 shots at it, but today we're taking our first shot here at AU home. The OTS Championships in particular are very important for me because it is actually the easiest, probably the easiest opportunity to get your invite to the North American World Championship qualifier outside of regionals. OTS Championships happen once every time, I think, before Nats. They might happen an additional time, but I happen to be lucky where I have one on Saturday and I also have one on Sunday. So today we're hopping into the Saturday one at Homes, and we're hopping into, I know, I fucking caved. I picked up Trickstar Sky Striker again. I did testing here and there, far and wide. I tried Goki, Azathoth Turbo, I tried Pendulum, but I just kept crawling back to Trickstar Sky Striker. It's a deck I'm super comfortable with, but I also think with some of the new cards in Savage Strike, they get a little bit of a boost. Trying a little bit different of a strategy here. We're actually main decking evenly matched. Don't know how good of a choice that is, but we'll find out today. All I gotta do is make it through 6 rounds of Swiss and then beat my first top 8 match to hit top 4, which then qualifies me for the invite. Really nothing else matters at that point. I care less about anything else. That being said, we got a lot of rounds of Yu-Gi-Oh ahead of us, so let's just hop into it.
The best case scenario for me is
How you doing? Good luck. Alright, we're just popping into the mix here. I just got done playing round 4. I've got 2 matches to go over with you guys. The first match I recorded was the very first match of the day, and I played against Salamangreat, which is the new deck, new hot deck on the block. I'm still kind of familiarizing myself with what the deck does, but I do know the ins and outs, what to stop, what's really important to negate. This game was really close. It was really back and forth. Nothing really stood out to me as like something to really commentate on. It was just a really close game, and we ended up actually going all the way into time limit. Like I said before, I am main decking evenly matched in this build. I do think it's a very interesting tech choice, and it does make a lot possible. Literally, if you're just going second, you lose the die roll, you might win most games. Salamangrate's a different problem, though. If they open up Roar, you can have some troubles. But if you manage to hit the Gazelle with like an Ash or an Effect Veiler, they don't have a guaranteed way to get to it. So I mean, at that point, if they set a couple back row, you have to either just assume they have it or don't have it. And if your evenly matched resolves when they don't have it, you might as well just win at that point. I ended up like Ashing or Veilering the Gazelle at one point, which put him in that exact scenario where he did end up setting 3 back row into a board, and I kind of had to just guess he didn't have it, and I played the evenly matched only to be met with the Roar. I don't think it mattered too much because I do think I came out on top that game. That match ended in a draw. Again, it's not the greatest way to start the day, but hey, I guess it's better than a loss. And then round 4 or 5, this one was actually interesting. I played against True Draco, and if you guys have watched the vlog, you know I don't have a good track record against True Draco. That deck just absolutely fucking pounds me. And I thought it was going to be that exact same way when my opponent opened Inspector Border all 3 games and happened to summon it. Oh boy. All 3 games, dog. What? That's fine. I opened up game 1 with like evenly matched in hand and a couple hand traps. I didn't have any really big plays I could make, so I just passed. I kind of knew what he was playing already because I'd saw him earlier in the tournament, so I assumed maybe he would overextend into the evenly matched, but he was a lot smarter than that because he definitely knew I was playing evenly matched in the main deck. Must have saw it earlier in the game or something like that because he goes Inspector Border, attack, and I can't just evenly match into that. That game was just a blowout on the back of that. I literally couldn't activate any of my hand traps in hand, and everything else was dead. The evenly matched was also dead at that point, so I just drew into nothing, and I passed again, hoping he wouldn't be able to game me the next turn, but he ended up doing that. Game 2 happened to be a lot better. I opened up Twin Twister, which I sided into, and it happened to be huge because my opponent was playing around a reincarnation that he assumed I have. Little did he know it was Twin Twister, and he happened to set his card demise, Pot of Duality, and he activated a Dragonic Diagram. After he activated the face down Pot of Duality, I kind of assumed the other one might be something he wanted to just make sure doesn't get reincarnated back, so I just activated Twin Twister, popped the Dragonic Diagram, and popped the back row, and it happened to be card demise. Fucking huge. After losing all the card advantage from my Twin Twister and also him popping a card off a Dragonic Diagram, he was kind of in a loop. He couldn't get too many cards to his hand to be able to combat something, and I ended up, I think, top decking into a light stage or something like that to be able to get my Trickstar engine running, which was more than enough for him to concede that match, move on to game 3. Game 3, short and sweet. He goes first, opens up Inspector Border, Ignis Heat. We end up having a little debate because he ends up pulling the spell and trap from the deck, which I realized after on my turn he couldn't do with Ignis Heat because he had Inspector Border on the field. In the end, it really didn't matter at all though, because I ended up twin twistering both of the back rows to clear the way for me to OTK him because I had double mind control in my hand, which kind of made that board really easy to deal with. I just have one more game. I need one more win to seal my seat in the top 8. From there, all I need to win is one match, and we get that top 4, that juicy fucking invite. I'm so ready for it.
Please do not lean on display case.
Alright, so quick last round update. We did get top 8 of the tournament, which means we have just one more round we have to win to get my invite for the NAWCQ. I hope I can grab it. I just gotta win one more game. Prizing does not matter at all. Let's hope we get that. Alright, sitting down, start of top 8. Shu's gonna give me the hands here, but hopefully we can come out on top 4. I just need that invite, that's it. Good luck, Shu. Alright, so while I didn't record my top 8 match, I did recap it immediately after, but looking back at it, I came off just kind of bitter. So no, I didn't win the top 8 match, but I did lose to a stupid technicality, and the way I kind of described it while I was kind of recapping it, it's way too hard to follow, so I figured I'd just take the opportunity to show you guys. So the scenario that I was recapping, I was playing against Pure Sky Striker in round 8, and we had just finished game 2 and we were going on to game 3 with about a minute left on the clock. By the time we're both shuffled up and we present our decks to each other, there's about 30 seconds left on the clock. My opponent goes first. He's playing Sky Striker, and he opens actually one of the shittiest boards I've ever seen. He goes set 4 pass. You think he would, if he actually opened up a decent hand, try to play it out to maybe stall for some time to just end in a draw, because there's no way he can win because he's going first. Keep in mind, he's also against Trickstar, so he's going to want to pretty much do anything he can to not let me have a turn, because he knows I can just burn him for a little bit for game. So he ends up going set 4 and pass because that's literally all he can do, and I draw for turn, and I'm literally looking at these stone cold nuts. The thing is, there's about 10 seconds left on the clock. There's a billion different options I have with the hand. I kind of gave a pretty good snapshot of what I think I had at the moment, but all I really decide to do is, with 5 seconds left on the clock, I shit you not 5, rather than going into, like, I don't know, Candina to get Lily Bell to attack to guarantee game, I just assume my opponent's going to extend the handshake after I summon Licorice and pass. So that's what I do. I like Twin Twister 2 back row just to ensure that this thing's going to stick no matter what I'm going to play it in. Maybe it gets stopped by an impermanence or something. I'd rather it not do that and end in a draw. So I like Twin Twister 2 back row. I normal summon the Licorice, and with about 4 seconds left on the clock, 4 seconds, I pass it back to my opponent, just assuming he'd extend the handshake. Well, he takes 200 during his draw phase, but what I didn't expect is for him, in a matter of like 3 to 4 seconds, he flips up multi-roll to pop his face down. I think it was like an effect veiler or something, and then summon Pankratops and attack for game. This could have been easily avoidable had I done literally any other play, but alas I did not. And the thing is I still could have won the game on the fact that if I just said I didn't agree to leave the main phase to battle phase. I did have legitimate options that I could play at the time, but I was just kind of so dumbfounded that he did that I just pretty much gave him the game. My recap just ended up sounding really bitter and pissy for a situation that could have been easily avoidable rather than just owning up to it. So I figured it would be more appropriate to actually show you guys what happened and why I was so bitter. But the thing is it's nobody's fault but my own, really. So yeah, unfortunately that was the top 8 match. Pretty much had top 4 in the bag but threw it away. So whoops, it happens, I guess. Again, I had many different routes. I shouldn't be complaining, really. I could have literally did anything else and won that game. But, yeah. Jesus, I was really bitter. All right, we're popping in. We're running it back. We have OTS Day 2 here at AU Bluebell. I've had some time to reflect on yesterday and what happened. And really, I think I was just too bitter about it. I made a misplay. It happens, but we're coming back. I'm bloodthirsty. Let's fucking go. We're playing the same deck, Trickstar Sky Striker again. I didn't make any changes. I thought about making some last minute changes, but I figured if I did so well with the first time, I would just let it go, play it again. So we're gonna hop into the mix. We got 6 rounds of Swiss ahead of us. Again, we just gotta seal top 4 to be able to grab the invite. That's all I gotta do. Having some practice from last night might come in a little bit of handy today. Hopefully we can do all right today. Let's just hop into the mix. I'll update you guys as we go. Alright, so I'm being deck checked, but we did hit top 8 again. Hopefully we can take it home this time. Just gotta get top 4 for that invite. That's it. I'm gonna burn somebody for game if I have to, but I'm definitely stealing that invite. Let's hope we can get it. Alright, so we just wrapped out the last round of Swiss, and we made it. We got the double down. 2 OTSs in 1 weekend, both top 8. Pretty fucking cool accomplishment on its own, but that's not at all what I care about. I just want the invite. We got one more round, but I did record the very last round of Swiss, so let's go over it. I ended up losing that first match pretty bad. I don't think I got to anything that I wanted to get to, and I wasn't really able to resolve much to be able to put a board that could combat the Salamangreats. The problem with the Salamangreat matchup is once they get their ball rolling, it's very difficult for me to deal with. If I'm able to stop the Gazelle or stop something from going off, it might just put a band-aid pretty much over it while they make their plays. Because not being able to set roar is huge if I happen to open the evenly match, but outside of that, it just creates a lot of problems. So he takes game 1 pretty convincingly, and then game 2, it actually ends up coming really, really close, really down to the wire again. I open up fairly strong again and start dealing a lot of burn damage with Licorices to him, and the game ends up progressing to a point where he has a face-up Sunlight Wolf, and he has 2 monsters in defense position that he summoned. He's not able to make anything off the monsters, he's not able to deal any more damage to me, and I am sitting at 5,000 life points to, I shit you not, his 4,900 life points. Clock is quickly ticking down to 0. We are about to get a draw in the final round of Swiss. My record is currently X11 at this point. We both realize if we draw, it doesn't benefit either of us. My opponent, bless his heart, he already has it as an invite. He says, you know what, you can just take it. I know you need it more than I do. And I am severely grateful for that. So we hit top 8. I don't know, the Salamangreat matchup for Trickstar, it seems like it should be more favorable for me because I have cards like Light Stage and stuff, and I main deck Evenly Match, but Evenly Match just isn't the greatest card against Salamangreat if they happen to set Roar, because at that point it's just a way to bait Roar. I feel like there's definitely a lot of rework I have to do with this deck. I don't know even if I'm comfortable taking this deck, Trickstar Sky Striker, to Vegas. I feel like there's probably just better decks out there that I need to start testing with. And I need to start testing quickly because Vegas is next week. That being said, onwards and upwards to top 8. Hopefully we can nab it this time. So you might be curious as to what is the conclusion of this double OTS weekend. Well, we came out on top. We managed to actually snag the invite, and we actually won our top 8. And we actually also won the top 4 match, making it all the way to finals, but we did lose in the finals, unfortunately. So we weren't able to clutch the win, we weren't able to take home the OTS mat, but we still did end up getting the most important thing, and that is the invite secured for the North American World Championship qualifier, which is in like July or something like that. I'm just glad I was able to get those tops back to back and seal this without having to struggle with any other events, whether it be a YCS or a regional or something. I don't have to worry about it. So that's pretty awesome if you ask me. The thing about it though is nobody remembers second place. So we gotta do better next time. I'll see you guys.